And welcome to this CompSkill how-to. Today we're going to look at Excel's SumIF function. So a SumIF is exactly that. It's the same as a sum function, except it takes into account a certain criteria. So what we've got here is a list on the far left here, a list of salespeople and an amount for each sale they made. Now some people made more than one sale, some people didn't. What I want to do is total up the sales for each of these salespeople. So I've gone ahead and created a unique list. You may have seen my video removing duplicates. This is the data I used to create that list. So I'm just going to make this a wee bit wider, and I'm going to add a label up here, sale amount, and then I'm going to add up the amount for each of the sales people based on this base list here. So we're going to start by adding our equal sign, something we do whenever we want to add a formula to a spreadsheet, and when we want to use a function we start typing the name of it. So I'm going to go sum, and then from the list choose SumIF, and then I'm going to, just to make it easier for you, open up the wizard over here and go through the arguments with you. So the first argument is the range. So it adds the cells specified by a given condition or criteria, and the range is the cells that you want evaluated. So the range is the name, the salesperson name. It's not the value, because this is what I want to do. So I'll explain to you as we go. So what we do is we click on that and we take it over here to select our range. So our range is A6 to A13, and I want that range evaluated against a criteria, and the criteria is this cell here for my first one, and it will be moved down as we go through. So I want to evaluate the range against the criteria. Sometimes you'll notice that these two are the only values that we actually need. The third argument isn't mandatory, but in this case it is, because we need to add some numbers. So sometimes we only have numbers and we don't have criteria as such. So I'm going to take my sum range and I'm going to click this down to minimize it and go to my sales amount and use that there. So B6 to B13. So I'm evaluating this range against this range. What I'm going to do just now for best practice is just to make these absolute. So I'm just going to use my function F4 to make them absolute, and I won't do that with the criteria because I don't want that absolute, but I'll do that certainly with the sum range, because as you know, when we drag it down it will update being relative. So this is what we're going to do. So we have got that, and we're going to say OK, and we get a total of 546. So a quick look here, we can see Mary's got 2, she's got 205, 341, add that together, looks like 346. So now all I'm going to do simply is just copy this down the range by using a double click. Then I'm going to go back to my home and choose the accounting format just there, just to tidy it up. So let's have a look here at the formula. We can see that now we're doing the criteria is moved to G7. So in English what is happening is that the function is going to this here, this sales people column, and it's matching it with the criteria. So in the top row of this table I've got Mary. It's going down here and finding all the Marys and then adding those values up. So that's Excel's SumIF, and it is so useful and so powerful. And for those of you who were who notice these things, you may have noticed that on the range of functions when we typed in our equals SumIF, I'll just do that again just to show you, there's also a SumIfs. And the SumIfs is used when we've got multiple conditions or criteria that we want to meet. In most cases the SumIf is sufficient. Sometimes the sum the SumIFs is what we need, and CompSkill will post a video using SumIFs in the future. So thank you again for joining us for this how-to, and I hope you've learned something about Excel SumIF. Thank you from CompSkill.